Well, we already know that my price spinning it however they want. We got hecklers on this channel that they're not going to watch the video. They're just going to be dicks. No matter what fault, no matter what. Making fake profile after fake profile. They've been doing this since I left fucking Virginia. Now, I want you to look at the situation from my point of view. I'm being victimized by Molly. I didn't do anything wrong to Molly. Nothing. Ever. Didn't lie to her. Didn't lie about her. But here's the thing. If she was younger and prettier, I would already have rednecks out here assaulting the fuck out of me. I might be in the hospital in a coma. I might be dead. I might be floating down the river like so many corpses that have been popping up here in Oregon. I might get rolled out into the surf. Buried in a shallow grave like my dad's friend from high school, Steve. They found him in Wyoming because he was buried off in the woods somewhere and someone tripped over his knees. Pretty shallow grave. You should ask my dad. All of his personal information is already on the internet because of his business. His address and everything. Brian Schwartz, Direct Info. That's the name of his company. When I go to a feed and I see her, I have to be petrified that she's gonna fucking scream at the top of her lungs and play fucking victim. Or start fucking throwing shit. I have to worry that if I set my bag somewhere for half a fucking second, she'll go do something to it. Her beating on my car because she didn't know I was in it. She thought I was in it. She fucking beat on it enough. Then when she thought that I wasn't in it, she decided the vandalism against my vehicle. Well, she's already destroying my property. She's already beating on my property. Because she wants to play victim. After victimizing Tom, and Tom came to me for help, and then she wants to victimize me over Tom and just keep it up. And play victim and play victim and play victim. Imagine if she looked like Natalie Bollinger and did that. The more they fucking keep their shit up, the more hell it is for us. And we have to be afraid to go for help. We have to be afraid. We have to let these women do these things to us. And you get to see how they try to get men involved. How they try to twist shit and contort shit. And we can't trust these men because these men are going to lie. We already know that Tom is the one who had the fucking scarf. We already know that nobody fucking stole her stuff. If anybody stole her stuff, we'd know that Tom had her fucking scarf. We have not established that it's her scarf or his scarf. We still don't know. But the fact that he lied to her about it, well, that does set off some fucking red flags. If that's your scarf, why do you have to fucking lie to her and tell her you found it behind Goodwill? That don't make no damn sense. And I know that people don't like being recorded. I also know that if I don't record it right when it's fucking happening, then I have no fucking proof. That's their word versus mine. She's the one with the vagina. I don't have a vagina. I can't use my vagina for sympathy. I can't go, oh, my poor kids, because I didn't go getting drunk and fucked up on meth and sticking my dick in everything. Matter of fact, because I chose to be a gentleman, I get victimized for that too. I know a lot of women who say, I can't remember what happened. I can't remember what happened. I can't remember what happened. In lots of situations with men. But for goddamn sure, they always fucking remember. Every goddamn time they remember when a man turned them down. Why is that? Why is it that Crystal Beauchamp, as fucking drunk as she was, saying she couldn't remember hardly anything about the night, but she sure as fuck treated me like shit because I didn't have sex with her at the end of the night? Now, it makes sense. She'd sobered up a bit. We'd walked about, 18 blocks. That's a lot of fucking walking. That'll sober you up. She also puked in the bushes and had fucking puke on her fucking chin still. And she wanted me to kiss her at the threshold of her door. No, a gentleman is not going to do that. Doing the right thing to do means taking her to where her environment is, where she is safe, and not taking advantage of her. Even if she wants it, if you give her what she wants in that state, then you can be charged with rape. So you do the right thing. And what happens? You do the right thing by escorting her home, and then she throws a tantrum at you. Goes out of her way to be as mean and evil and make you feel as fucking horrible as possible. Women are taught to play on your emotions. They're not inherently this way. We teach them that they're different, that they're weaker, that they're this, that they're that. And then we get extremes. When you got a 300-pound woman beating on a 92-pound man, saying, oh, well, I was afraid that he was going to hit me. I was afraid he was going to assault me. I was afraid he was going to this. I was afraid he was going to that. Well, men are stronger than women. Jesus Christ. I have to be afraid of predatory women playing victim. You get busted lying, you play victim. You get to see how this stuff with Molly, it's all over Tom. It's all over. She wants to have complete control over Tom. If Tom wants to escape, well, she's going to fucking destroy the life of anybody who tries to help him. And she's going to go running around to the Fred Meyers employee. That one person going unchecked is able to harm me greatly. About how, when I speak to the police about it and the evidence, how I am blown off. Sure, they say they're going to do something. They're going to look at my YouTube channel, but do they actually look at my YouTube channel? Thank goodness I brought tobaccos with me today. Now, through this whole time that I've been here, taking this hell from Molly, everywhere I go, it's like this. All the evidence on my YouTube channel. Bunch of stuff that I can't show on my YouTube channel because it's audio recording devices, and this all takes time. When you don't have a place to do it, you have to work off of other people's availability. With Molly, I have to worry because she's a female. Obviously, she's not the one being victimized here. Myself and Tom are. Obviously, Tom, he's showing exactly the crap that I've been dealing with. Well, women do the same thing Tom does. When a woman comes to me for help, and I help her, and then it results in my life being hell. And of course, they want to say they're done with the person, but they keep going back for more abuse and coming back and telling me that they're being abused more. Meanwhile, that fucking psycho is coming up and fucking harassing me everywhere I go. You tell me not to tell Molly where you're at, right? Kind of like a lot of these battered women. They say, hey, don't. Why the fuck would I to begin with? First of all, You came to me for help, told me that he's beating on you. You want to tell me, don't tell him where you're at, and then you went out on a date with him and you're going back out with him. Meanwhile, he knew where I was at the whole fucking time. He knew where you were at too. Him and his buddies making my life hell, and I'm asking you for help to stop it. But you ain't gonna do that. You're lonely and alone, and you know that you can't wipe your own ass without somebody else taking care of you. You don't have any rich lesbian friends, so lo and behold, you're stuck with familiarity. And then you want me to rescue you again, and again, and again. And you tell me all these horrible stories. You call me up and say, man, he just beat me up like 20 minutes ago. Did you call the cops? No. I just want to get the fuck out of here. When we get the fuck out of there, it's all right. Do you want to go to the cop shop and fucking talk to the police? No, I just want to be fucking done with it. I'm just glad to be out of there. I'm just glad that he's out of my life. That's good enough. Well, that worked the first time. That definitely worked the first time. But you need to knock that shit off. Then while him and his friends are making my life a living hell, and I speak up and say, hey, you know what, this is all because he was beaten on such and such. It's all because Molly wanted to be abusive to Tom and everybody else for that matter, and it is recorded, her being verbally abusive to many people, threatening violence, all sorts of shit. Her thinking that she's in the fucking CIA and the FBI and fucking all sorts of bullshit all rolled into fucking one. You've also gotten to hear some actual schizophrenic people claiming that. It's different. It's completely different. She's just trying to one-up anybody else's story. She doesn't care what you've gone through. She isn't going to help you. She just wants to be able to tell a better story, tell a better lie. Doesn't care if you're lying or telling the truth. Doesn't matter what hell you're going through. And when she gets busted, she throws a tantrum. And of course, Tom, going back to that fucking situation, made a lot of really stupid decisions. Yeah, you come forward or I will, no problem. Usually when you go and rescue a woman who's telling you this stuff, you don't think about recording it. Oh, this poor woman, we got to get her out of that situation. Or poor Tom, we got to get him out of the situation. So with me recording it for the last 3 weeks, also recording other witnesses, and listen to how homeless people are treated here and the KKK presence here. I don't know, I just couldn't join a cowards club. When I'm told that this stuff isn't happening, that it's a figment of my imagination, things like, oh, Molly doesn't actually exist. That's been one of the biggest things throughout all this. They call me schizophrenic and then pretend these people don't exist. And that's just completely fucking ludicrous. It's got... Does Molly exist?
Yes.
So she's not a figment of my imagination?
No.
Huh. Well, my poor heckler is on my YouTube channel. Yep. People are like, yeah, if you just get off the internet, those people will stop messing with you. I'm like, it's not the people on the internet I have the biggest issue with. It's people in real life who are doing the same shit, except in real life, they can put their nasty cockbeaters on me. And there's no hide user from this channel button in real life. Where's the hide user channel button for Molly? I'd have pressed it 3 weeks ago. All right, well, you look like you're resting up. I was going to have a tobacco and try to get on the internet and see if I can do the stuff I was supposed to get done last week. There's a lady who was abused in Hood River. A guy followed her, he pushed her, and then he chased her down. She's trying to get away from him the whole time, and he fucking punches her in the back of the head. And of course, you know how it is. You never hit a woman, but then you got 30 men sitting around like little bitches. I'm the only person who said a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And then you come up, and of course, he's the aggressor. He's a predator. And, you know, me, he's coming up in my personal business and trying to intimidate me. I diffused it vocally because I am a linguistic mastermind as well as a bit of a diplomat. But goddamn, you can hear my mouth. I'm a douchebag too, am I not?
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Only when you need to be.
Gay men, exactly. That's a Boulder joke. My friend Wraith used to say that every time somebody would say amen, he'd say it's gay men. This is Boulder. You go to California and people say hey. You go to Boulder, they say hey. That's a good place for people who don't know nothing, never been nowhere. I keep trying to tell people in Nebraska, you know,
Right.
if you'd go somewhere more cultured, I mean, anywhere, even the next town over is more cultured than the town you're living in, no matter what town you're living in. And the grass is always greener on the other side, and I keep telling them, no, they smoked it there too.
Damn right.
The grass is ash on the other side. But people will tell you it's paradise. They want to sell you that swampland in Florida. I probably shouldn't use metaphors because people are like, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm like, these are common metaphors. If you're pretending that I'm crazy for using them, you're fucking crazy. Apparently I got something. Probably hecklers.
Probably.
Might be news updates. I never know. Messed up thing is the cops pretend that my disabilities don't exist. Like I'm able to take care of myself. Like living in a fucking car is taking care of myself. Meanwhile, I only got any of that stuff that I got because I had disability money because I'm disabled. So them trying to pretend that I'm not disabled when I tell them about a situation like what was going on with Molly and having all that recorded on my YouTube channel, you'd think people would look at it and pick up it and put two and two together like, yeah, this is more than just not right. It's not like we even have to dig for it. It's live on fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
Anyway, I only used you as a target of opportunity because I saw you, I knew that you knew me, and you know Molly, and absolutely had to come like, does she exist or am I schizophrenic?
Shit, if she don't exist, then I might as well be schizophrenic too.
Right? And about 10 other people that I talked to. All right, well, you have a good day. I'm hopefully going to be able to get that stuff done. I'm kind of pensive about it, but you know what? With your dad being willing to help me at least turn in that one crime,
Yep.
with all the other ones, I mean, I have to be afraid to go to where the food is because she found out where them services are. If I had a protection order against her, then I could rush up there real quick with my car, get what I need done and taken care of, and get the hell out of there. But as is, I have to worry that she's running around up there spreading the same rumors, pretending I'm some sort of this, that, and the other. She's a woman. They're not going to look at the evidence. So I keep waiting on somebody to come out and yell at me over her, or people to start treating me a lot different over her.
Right.
But if I get there first and she's got to maintain a 100-yard distance from me, then I can get my food, and I'm not an evil bastard. I think she should be allowed to eat too, which is why I would rush through there and get the hell out of there so she can eat. I even pre-screened the Fred Meyers before carrying all my shit in there because I don't want to go to set up my backpack in there and have her sitting at the Starbucks where, you know, obviously it's going to be an unsafe situation. She could start screaming at any point in time, pretending that she's a victim.
Yep, always.
Well, you be safe, Scott. Thanks for existing. There are witnesses to all of the crimes against me, nearly all of them. even if in some cases it's just the officer's body camera. Which is why we need to have these laws that are in place for disabled people to have someone there to actually help them when they're victimized. These people that are doing everything but the important part, the part that your family could do. These services, most of them were created so that victims like myself, who obviously have families that'll just rip us off, look the other way and help our predators. These services are to help us so that we're not repeatedly victimized, because we are at-risk adults. But those laws, obviously the police don't want to observe those laws. They believe that laws are optional, that they can change the laws at will, that they can play judge, jury, and executioner out here, and abso-fucking-lutely not. That's why every homeless person needs to be armed. But then again, if we're armed, we're arrested. Alright, I'm going into Starbucks to get my coffee. Get started on work, and just in case of complications, I'll keep it recording. Hello.
Wait a second.
I would like a tall cup of coffee and a grande cup. Let's see if I'm smart enough to use the machine this time.
Okay. Which brew would you like?
Anything non-blonde. It's too acidic. Oh.
Is your cold brew for you?
Merci beaucoup. Sure, if I get my receipt?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Still 422 left on it. I can still get another drink. The burnt smell is definitely the roast. It's probably a dark roast I'm not used to. It started nearly as Let's start with red. one of the, I always thought that the way they wrapped the cups, because people generally stir counterclockwise, they should wrap the cups the opposite direction so that, me, I got OCD. So every time I stir it that way and I hit that little lip, bugs. So they wrap their cups the other way now, which is pretty cool. And I'm not going to say that was me that did that. There's probably a lot of people that sent in that idea. I'm not going to say it was all me. The other one, I always thought they should have a giraffe craft at the half and half. Oh, it's all rhymy-dimey and all that. Easy to remember. Nice, cool pattern. Of course, the reason for having a stainless steel container and not having it patterned with all pretty looking is that stainless steel denotes to many people that it's clean. It looks clean, it looks sterile, it looks like you see stainless steel all over in the hospital. You see stainless steel all over in the food industry. You don't see rust on it, so it doesn't look nasty. Alright, so for the people in the Dalles and Hood River, I have to go through probably about 800 hours of recordings easily to try to get them what they want in specific. Because there's a lot of stuff related to crimes committed there that are not the ones in specific that they're looking at. As far as the ones here, well, that's going to take a bit, but it's a lot less, a lot more condensed, and it's a lot more organized. Since there's only about 3 weeks worth of it here in Tillamook, I probably got an hour or 100 hours or so of recordings or more easily. And I got to try to get those done in a weekend. Lucky for me, a lot of the stuff already says Molly on it, so that'll subtract about 7 or 8 hours of having to go through stuff. There's a few of the other ones that are named differently. I'll just have to go through the list and grab all of it. And all of it shows that every time that there was a situation with me and Molly, every single time, she always initiated it. I never spoke to her first. Like that day, she was talking all nice to me because she was trying to find Tom. Tom already had let me know that he was trying to escape from her. He was going to try to go to Portland or something and hope that she would leave here so he could come back. So she was talking all nice. Tom had already let me know, don't tell Molly where I'm at. Molly was talking nice to me, and I was trying to ignore her, and she just kept on yelling at me. Let her know I don't know where he's at. I don't know where he's at. And I really didn't. She wanted to get aggressive with me and threatening because I wouldn't tell her where he was at. He asked me not to. And the guy's telling me that he's being assaulted by the lady. And you get to see how that ends out. Battered women syndrome and all that. Now, I cannot blame myself for Tom going back to that situation. Just as I cannot blame myself for Natalie Bollinger going back to her daddy who raped her, or Alicia Bollinger going back to the daddy that raped her. Or Natalie Bollinger going back to the boyfriend that raped her and beat her, held her down and told her she couldn't have her dog until she took him back. And you wonder why she went to Virginia. She went to Virginia to escape those people. And she was doing great until the people that she was stuck with, her family, she couldn't stop loving them. She couldn't make herself stop loving them no matter what they did to her. And she gave them what they wanted. And she played Molly. And a lot of other people played Molly. But here's the thing. Natalie Bollinger never accused me of doing any of that stuff that people harm me over. Not once ever. And the one thing that she did accuse me of, I've got proof that it's bullshit. I posted the proof that it's bullshit. And for me to be abused and forced to move repeatedly, when there is so much blatant evidence that shows that I'm the one telling the truth, I'm the one who's victimized. But I don't have the right gender. I don't have the right looks. I don't have the right age. I don't have the right skin color. There's all these other groups that, you know, they complain about being victimized and abused in the same way, but I don't get to be represented at all because I'm not that color. I'm not that gender. I have to be afraid 24/7. I have to be afraid of somebody like Molly or somebody like that guy in the RV. That lady that works here at the Starbucks that day with the guy in the Dolphin. I should have asked her to go to the cops with me. And I've thought about it several times since. You know, as is, I know her name and where she works, and I can write that down when I make a report. But how is that going to guarantee that they're ever going to talk to her? I know that the cops in Chapel, Nebraska never bothered to investigate or even talk to my predators about the situations. In many of those situations, because I asked them. And Robert Franklin Mornick came and threatened me the second time. I was still trying to get somebody to go in and help me turn him in about the abuse the first time. He gets to sell a narrative, and since Dual County Sheriff's Department has been involved in helping my predators get away with this since 2017, well, having to go to them is not a positive thing, and they're going to do everything they can to cover up their crimes, including helping my predators. Their excuse? Well, they'll just pretend that I'm schizophrenic and lie to people, lie to hospitals, lie to doctors, lie to nurses, lie to the jails, lie to the prisons. Scott DaCosta, that's right, the very man that I was trying to turn in. Megan Misigatis was claiming she was going to help me. She was going to look at the evidence. She was going to this, she was going to that. And she never kept her word. This is what it's really like. When you're a male, all these people want to do is make you jump through hoops, run around in circles. If I was a woman, people would have helped me immediately. Look how many people helped Molly. Look how much it has affected me. How many options that I have that I am cut off from because not only did she victimize Tom and victimize me, but she runs around playing victim when she gets busted. Just like Natalie, just like Alicia, just like Danica Connor, just like Roseanne Kelly. We taught women to be like this. We taught them that it's okay. We taught them that there will be no consequences. Why do these women act with impunity as if there are no consequences? Because there aren't. They can target at-risk adults, such as the elderly and the disabled, and get away with it, because police will just pretend that we're not elderly or disabled. Obviously, I'm not elderly, but Tom is, and he's one of her major targets, but he also had an income. He was buying things for her that she wanted. If it wasn't what she wanted, she'll send it back. She'll send him to return. Plugins here aren't working. All right. Get my computer up and going. I'm gonna have to keep this recording just in case. My predators can lie and have me arrested on things that I try to show proof that these things are happening to me. And I'm told it's a civil thing, that I have to hire a civil lawyer. Really, if you can arrest me for it, then it is not a civil issue. It is a criminal issue. If you can arrest me on accusations and have to release me because I didn't commit the crime and you have zero evidence, why did you arrest me to begin with? Why didn't you bother to find out? Why didn't you bother to do your job? Why is it that it's magically civil when I need help? Molly is committing criminal acts. She's not being forced to do these criminal acts because she is afraid for her life, because she is obviously not. It is obvious to anyone that she is the one playing victim.
What's the sugar cookie syrup for?
Oh, that's for
So we're at strawberry green too, huh? I didn't see any monster gas here. We got one on the shelf.
For a woman, when she pretends that a man might, yes, many of us will drop exactly what we're doing. This is what we're told and trained that we're supposed to do. First thing we do, we get treated like we're being Captain Save-A-Ho, or like we have ulterior motives. Like we don't want to see our friends who are being beaten in a safe environment. It's not about getting our friends safe from getting beaten again or possibly murdered. It must be because we wanted her vagina. Yeah, we didn't show up because she asked. We showed up because vagina. That must be it. And so our predators get away with it. And we are victimized as if we are some sort of sexual predator because you asked us for help. Now you can see Tom, because he's a male, it's a lot easier on me. Because I know that as a male, he's not going to try pretending like that. As a male, if he doesn't get what he wants, he's not going to go, oh, Sean tried touching my naughties. Too much pride for that. When it got to the point where my life was being threatened and Molly was doing damage to my property, that became a point where it was critical that somebody needed to take a look. She did it because she thought if she played victim, that she would get me railroaded by the cops, that she would be made out to be some victim, and we got to get her away from the poor, terrible Sean, and let's spend a bunch of thousands of dollars to help you get resources that we're denying to Sean. And look at what's happening. She did get a lot of people pouring resources into her, renting her a hotel room, giving her cash for different things. Of course, Tom was telling me about some of these things, and we also know about the hotel room because the lady here at Fred Meyer. So Molly went to all these places to try to cut me off and try to convince these people not to listen to what I'm saying and not to look at the evidence by claiming that she's the poor innocent victim who hasn't done anything wrong. She was just knocking on my car, trying to find poor Tom because she was concerned. Oh, your fucking punching bag left you again. If she was young and pretty like Natalie Bollinger, how well would that go? It would not go over well at all. I'd already possibly be in the ground. Thank goodness there's only Molly threatening to kill him. At this point, anyway. She hasn't been able to convince anyone to do anything real dirty to me yet. But she's been trying, and it's obvious. You can look through the last 3 weeks how predators are. When you're the good guy, that's how it really is. These people want help. They want help. They want help. But then once you help them, they go back to the beatings. And then you end up getting some beatings for helping. And then you're told it's your fault for helping. It's your fault for being there. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. We tell us to go to the police, and the police blow us off. So we try to find help so that the police can't blow us off. And then pretend like we're horrible monsters for trying to get help. We're supposed to record it so there's actual evidence of the incident. Actual evidence. But that doesn't matter when people are able to prevent that evidence from being shown in court by lying about you. Like William Barr. I hope I got the right name. I was thinking about 8 or 9 different predators all at once. And also trying to figure out why my computer isn't working. I got an ATI radio setting thing popped up. Trying to make it so that it'll allow me to make a new, what do you call that? A new file. I gotta take this stuff off of my clandestine recording device that I recorded yesterday, and I gotta put it on my computer. This is the stuff that takes the longest amount of time. Like a 30-minute video could take up to 2 days for it to finish, because I suck at the editing and because YouTube's services are super, super slow. Alright, there it goes. Some of the evidence here is, well, it goes into multiple files because there's multiple situations across multiple jurisdictions with the very same predators. I keep having to move to flee abuse. That's everyone's solution. Why don't you just move? Why don't you just move? Why don't you just move? Why don't you just get help? Why don't you just get help? Why don't you just get help? Well, it takes 3 to 6 months for you to even get started with actually getting actual help with these services. The whole time you're being abused, and they're telling you there's nothing they can do about it. You got to jump through these hoops. Why should somebody have to jump through all those hoops who is being abused? Why is it that a disabled person who is telling you, hey, I am being abused, I need someone to go in with me? By law, I have the right to have one of these people assigned to me who is going to look at it. A guardian who is going to make the best choices for me with my best interest at heart. But they don't exist. No, it's not like that. When a male is abused by a woman, such as the case with Molly, or the case with Maddie, and Alicia. That's the major thing there. I mean, right from the start, it wasn't Natalie Bollinger who was victimizing me. As soon as this stuff started up, it was her sister and her sister's attitude, and her and her sister having an argument over a boy. It had nothing to do with me unless I was the boy they were arguing over, based on Alicia's behavior and the fact that she wanted to spend so much time with me. Even when Natalie wanted to spend a little bit of one-on-one time with me, Alicia always wanted to be there. Obviously, it wasn't a safety issue because Alicia kept on inviting me over to see her when she was literally by herself. Me and Alicia Bollinger got to know each other pretty well up there in Virginia in 2016. We spent a lot of time together because she wanted to. She kept calling me over at her lunch hour and she'd go out for a cigarette break. The reason I was staying behind Natalie's work, Natalie didn't work there. It was a cricket store in Virginia, and she quit working there because she tried to kill herself because I wasn't there fast enough. So had to kind of put it in perspective for you, not that you care. Lowercase, I gotta type this uppercase. Most of the folks that I talked to on that recording were speaking about. There's a couple of them, they said that they'll tell the names of the officer if we can guarantee him safety. And you gotta take this device and plug it into the side of it and transfer the files over to that and then move that into my Tillamook, Oregon file. It'll be good to go. So far, the Tillamook, Oregon file, all it's got in it is the audio file. It doesn't have any of the stuff that's on the internet because I don't know how to do that stuff. That's the problem. I keep telling you I don't know how to do it. I don't have the capability of doing it. My disabilities prevent me from doing it. And that includes the exploitation of my finances and my physical and mental disabilities. PTSD is not a joke. What are the chances that one of the newspapers here is going to pick up the story? It's actually pretty good. The newspapers, anywhere that I happen to tell a story, they tend to pick it up. Look at the situation with Natalie Bollinger. I told about the situation before she died. When she died, they picked it up. Didn't tell the truth, though. I told about the situation in Horton, Montana. Oh, that does not sound good. My computer's froze.
All right, I'll be back in a little bit.
I'm going to see if it'll open up, try to open up one of the internet things to see if it'll maybe do something, but it's looking like it.
Are you really?
Alright, so here I'm clicking on this. This is for the audio recording device. It says this every time. I click it and it says either scan it or continue without scanning, and I have to continue without scanning. Here's the thing over here that I clicked on to try to open, even though I don't have internet access here currently. Alright, here we go. I don't know why it's going so slow. Probably too much on it.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, love you. Bye.
Also, I had a lot of people that told me if I had this program or if I had that program, if I downloaded this one or that one or the other one, then it would help me out. And I downloaded it, and they didn't help me to learn how to use it at all. At all. So then I got this stuff on my computer that even when I remove it, it still wants to do stuff with the startup process. And once in a while, I get this notification that there's extra stuff on my startup processes. And then it's got a whole list of stuff that it won't let me delete from these things that these people told me, oh, download this, download that, it'll help you. Thank you. Now I got 10 things popped up for them and a bunch of not responding cards. All right, now it's responding. Oh, come on now. Let's see what that was that I was trying to open. And hopefully that'll allow us to access this, because I was clicking on this and it wouldn't let me. Oh, shit. All right, so what that means is that of the 3 recordings, it only recorded one of them. File size 64,722. All right, that might actually be all 3 of them. I don't know how long that is, but that might be all 3 of them, and I just didn't turn it off. So take that, maybe. Now it's popping that up. New tab, Google Chrome. This is the See Justice Prevail one. And I think I got a notification from Google a couple of days ago that they were destroying my Google One on this because I wasn't doing nothing with it. I've been trying. I'm trying to get help with this. Like I said, I'm not a computer guy. I know how to record it. Thank goodness for that. People did help me to record. People taught me how to do that. They taught me how to use YouTube to make my own videos, at least well enough to make the videos the way I do now. That's in Tillamook, Oregon. It's going slower than usual, but at least it's not frozen now.
Yes, please.
I know obviously because I am in a public setting, there is stuff that I can't play. I'm certain that although it's not illegal for the things that Ventus is speaking about with Beatrice, I am fairly certain that people would be uncomfortable with the subject matter. That's because I've got experience and history with such a thing. Anyway, that's usually the first thing I do. Turn on my computer, make sure that all the stuff that wants to pop up at startup is shut down so that it's not making my computer run extra slow. Then I download what's on my Clandestine audio recording device. And then once that's downloaded, then I get about my business with the rest of it, doing the best that I can with what I got. Alright, so it did transfer over. So what we do is on the voice one, that's the profile that it came from. We click on it. We'll go through the process, just like when I get rid of the trolls on my channel. We'll say it while we do it. You can't get rid of Molly in person as far as like you can on the internet, where it's just hide this user on this channel and then they just leave you alone and don't bug you after that. In real life, you need help when you're being victimized, when people are harassing you. There's a few people in here that have come through talking on their own, not responding. We get it to work. All right, so right outside of the window here is that fella Rob, who is a very decent feller. He doesn't know all the situations that have been going on, but of course, when I come here, I do try to make sure I'm a customer every time. All right, this is. Hurry up and wait, right? So this video's like almost an hour long. All right, here it goes. We click on that, and then we click open. Nope, that's not right, is it? I screwed up. We already did that part. Now it's going to want to play, which I don't want it to do because we're in Starbucks. And it's public. Not that it matters. Looks like he was having some issues anyway. There's a homeless guy outside that they're talking to. He's got a dog, and some people handed him some money when I was on my way in here. So they're just, well, they're pretty all right folks here. Chances are pretty good. They're more likely trying to find some sort of assistance for him as they send him on his way. Because it doesn't look like they involved the cops, right? Don't exactly know the situation, so we'll click on this. I'll right click it. I actually bought this computer years ago when I was in Cheyenne, Wyoming. No, this is the one that I bought when I was with Chaos, aka Mark Townsend. Yes, I want to permanently delete it. Wow, that is incredibly slow. we go. And of course, we go to the Tillamook, Oregon. We open it to make sure that we didn't delete the file there as well, just so that I can show you guys who want to have that argument. No, the file that I transferred is still there. It didn't delete that one. It only deleted the one that's on my audio recording device. So now we click out of that. Go down here, see the stuff I know how to do. I've practiced enough to know what to do. Just right here, inject voice record, and blam, no problem. Yeah, since a lot of this stuff I gotta look up something. You gotta hook up to it. When you run into a woman like Molly, who's had a lot of years of experience, obviously she's a seasoned veteran and she's done this many times. Now with Natalie Bollinger, she was a seasoned veteran too. You don't get to grow up in the system and a family like that and not know exactly what you're doing. She wasn't just some ignorant little girl, just like I'm not some ignorant autistic asshole or retard, I guess is the term you guys like using the most. I'll pretend I don't mean you when I say it back. A homeless person has to be afraid of police, especially a male, especially disabled, especially alone. And you get to see how Molly, even though it's recorded that she's a predator, for like 3 weeks of her being predatory towards me. 100% her being predatory towards me and me trying to avoid it. Me making sure that I at least document it on YouTube and explain what's going on because I have to be afraid to go to the police. And of course, I am far too Jewish looking. Of course, my Jew curls are gone right now, but they'll go back. But yeah, when it gets foggy out here, the thing grows from here to here, my sideburns. When it gets foggy out, or after I get out of a shower, or if it's raining, I get these two curls that pop out like a rabbi. I got rid of them because they kept on tickling my ears, and because when I do this, I always do it from here, and that always brushes my Jew curl along the back of my ear, and then it tickles the back of my neck and annoys the crap out of me. A lot of times I'll have a beard hair that'll just be doing its own thing and tickling me somewhere, so I'll end up just try to bundle it all up together. It looks like got everything almost working. We'll try to The problem with coming into an establishment like this is that you can't really abandon your stuff in. You're not supposed to do it. And they may let you get away with it. But then again, it depends on the amount of attention that you've had brought to you. Quite a bit of attention that I've had over my situation. When people say just ignore her, how do you ignore her when she's beating on your vehicle? How do you ignore her when she's got a history of beating on an 80-year-old, throwing projectiles at him and actually hitting him with them? The guy's 80 years old. Do you think she will have any remorse whatsoever about harming me? No. she'll try to make it my fault somehow. When it comes to narcissistic traits, it's not that men are more narcissistic. It's that we'll ignore women narcissists and their narcissistic behavior and even feed into it. Oh, it's a woman who's saying it. Well, we better get her a hotel room so she's safe to leave with Sean. Seven years. There's a lot of people that I wanted to believe, and although I should have recorded 24 hours a day, 7 days a week there, I did not have the ability. Also, I knew that if I recorded the actual truth of the situations there, that those people would be very unhappy, very angry, and that I would be, of course, risking the evidence of the abuse that myself and many others have gone through. So I just had to take it, to be subservient and to take the abuse. And I was at Brett Roloff's after all the stuff that I had gone through with Shannon Alvarado. Yes, I made sure I recorded every possible thing that I could. I can't defend myself without other people speaking up. Even with overwhelming evidence on the internet, without people helping me to turn it in and speaking up. It just sits there on the internet while I take abuse as if it doesn't exist. So incredibly slow. I'm still waiting for it to I'll show you. Ah, there it goes. Finally. Right as I pull up the camera, it's like, oh, I'll comply now. We don't want to look bad on the camera. Yes, I know it's an inanimate object. No, I don't actually think that it's thinking things like that. I don't believe it's actually thinking things like that. I'm just trying to make light of the situation. A little bit of sarcasm, a little bit of snarkiness. Also, we got to write stuff down and make copies of it so that different people know where to look and what's where. I do need to, if I could find a place to sit down for just like a week straight with internet, have access to it day and night. Anytime I have anxiety about something that I remember that's important, I can get up immediately and do something instead of be stuck worrying about it all night. Or when there's something that's time pressing and I have to go beg others, please help me. Please, I don't have the ability to do this. And I'll at least be empowered to try. It's going incredibly slow. I might have to try to record with my tablet offline. Which I don't want to do because in many of the situations that I was in where I was severely abused, my abusers were able to prevent that access to to that evidence. Like computer I'm using right now. The police in Rollins, Wyoming, Sheriff's Department as well, took part in threatening, harassing, and intimidating the Oprah situation with Ryan Ingersoll and her abusing them kids. Later on, they actually charged her, but they dropped the charges against her just like they dropped the charges against Harley Richmond. Both of those blatantly abused those children. Blatantly screwed up. Were caught red-handed. And because they were females, they were given leniency and the charges were dropped. But the males that they were abusing in that situation, myself with Rihanna and Dallas with Harley respectively, it was the males who ended up having to take the charges, take the abuse, jump through the hoops, pay the courts, pay the police, pay the fines, and ultimately have their names and their reputations damaged for things they did not do. I clicked on YouTube. It'll probably pop YouTube up as soon as I. Nope, it didn't this time. What's going on here? Alright, we've got internet access. Maybe if we. Does that work? Oh, you can hear me clicking. Alright, now watch. Click. What if I right click? Nothing. Not responding. Here we go. I'm trying not to be stressed out. This video's an hour and 14 minutes long, probably almost an hour of it here trying to get my computer to work. I get people who pretend I'm not trying, like I'm not making any efforts, and
yeah, see, that's what you think like don't care who you are, they get absolutely. Oh, yeah, you're not like
this is Daniel Kitlitz. He's a friend of mine who was killed. So even bringing up one picture. See, this is Daniel here. He's dead. This is Rose Melvin. She's dead. This is Catherine Louise. She's dead. Shady Dan, that's Daniel Kitlitz. He's dead as a damn doornail. Here's Sarah Rubiolo and Kat. Those are two of the people from my story with Natalie. There's Rebecca Gross Nickel Foley. She's somebody that I knew in Colorado, and she was human trafficked here in Oregon. There's a lot of people on here who are either my predators or victims themselves. Here's Rod Wright, Zach and Jenny Wright. Those two are both involved in the situation with Harley and Dallas, and of course that is all one big giant mess, all tied in with, God damn it, see now we're having another issue. And I first got this computer, it was fast. It's probably trying to have some sort of a download. Let's see. Not seeing any download indications there. Oh, come on now. I'm clicking on it, it's not working. Obviously, I'm stressed out. I just want to scream for help. Please help. But I can't because I'm in public. I brought my mouse. I didn't bring my earphones, so there's a lot of stuff I won't be able to do with that. But, you know, there's a lot of other stuff that I could have done on here. And let's see, that's the power button. I just clicked on it. Neither one of them are going to work. So these right here, you can tell which ones are originals and which ones are copies. This one says Win 20210. That's the original. This one right here, it says Scott DaCosta, Bill Burr. This one right here will be a copy. This one says DHHS call. That one will be a copy. This one is R-0003 underscore something or other. That one will be original. A lot of my predators and law enforcement were able to find the stuff on them because it was a copy that had their name right on it. Unfortunately, it takes thousands of hours of screening through my stuff to try to find the recordings in their original format. Fortunately, not renaming them in their original format allowed them to remain hidden and to not be destroyed. Looks like that's not going to pop up, so we'll close it. And we will close this as well because it's obviously not working. Oh, come on. There we go. Come on. At least my audio recording device is clear. It's got, as we well know, up to 9 hours and 14 minutes worth of ability to record. And since we cleared off what was on there, I'm guessing it's probably an hour and a half worth of recording overall, maybe 2 hours. We've cleared it up for being able to do a lot more. There's also a possibility, because I'm pretty sure I turned it off for over an hour last night and then turned it back on. I think what ended up happening is that it just ran out of battery in the middle of the recording. Alright, so I hit that forever and a day ago. Come on.
Oh, it's just, it says lose it with their feet, cover for lover.
Okay, well,
A lot of people wanted to play victim after they got busted. These are a lot of people who didn't want to record anything. And then they want it to be their word versus mine. And they're in the right place to do it, especially those in Chapel or in Boulder. But the fact is, I still have the evidence. And the evidence shows that they played victim when they got busted. They played victim when they got busted lying, when they got busted misleading. Or, of course, when somebody that is friends of theirs, or family, of course, does something wrong, then I must be the bad guy. You can go ahead and play that all you want. The evidence shows otherwise. And absolutely, there are still people to this day trying to destroy my YouTube and destroy my Facebook to get rid of evidence of things they did wrong. Some of them try it with their own profiles. Some of them use a fake profile. Some of my predators have dozens of profiles. Some of my predators have dozens of profiles that are variants of their own name, which would make them aliases. And some of them, like Fred Jr., who's one of my recent harassers, he also goes by Ted Jr. and Sean David Jr. and let's see, Ted Turner and Ted Burner and you can see how that's a pain in my brain. Yeah. Anyway, the folks here have been good to me. I've kept my voice down so I don't disturb anybody. Nobody has created any sort of issues for me, but I've also made sure not to use those key words. You know, the words that as soon as somebody hears them, an alarm goes off in their head. They may not have heard anything else that you said, but as soon as one of those keywords pops up, their ears turn on and their assumptions start running. Like power. And I click the shutdown option. We spent what, 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes, maybe trying to figure out how to shut it down. Also showing how incredibly slow the computer is working now. I've now done the shutdown protocol to try to turn it off twice. From what Tara's friend Ed was telling me and a few other people about computers, which Ed's understanding of computers isn't there. He's just regurgitating what he's heard. But computer can be controlled via remote device, and I was instructed on how to find that, but I didn't have access to my computer at the time, and it was an explanation. I learned visually, and most people, while they're under an incredible amount of stress, or of course with investigators when they're trying to investigate something, they're far more likely to remember it if they've seen it than if they're just told about it. It's far more likely to make an impact. And unfortunately, when you're a disabled homeless male, they just don't give a crap. Most of you don't give a crap. You get bored. People are gung-ho about helping somebody until they realize it's actual work. A lot of these people that I helped, it's a lot of work, and they throw it in my face like I made zero effort whatsoever. Of course, when they want to play victim, I'm going to throw it in their face like they made no effort whatsoever, because in reality, if you don't speak up, you're just as much to blame for that predator getting away as anyone else. When that predator gets away with doing it to someone else, and someone else, and someone else after that, you might even be the target of their victimization. But you've got nobody to blame but yourself by that point, because you chose to look away. You chose to allow a predator to get away. And we've seen how my predators, when you allowed them to get away, they victimized many, many others. Waylon Lolatai, the officer who assaulted me over Natalie Bollinger's death, one of many. What happened when you didn't listen to me when I tried to tell what he was doing? You pretended like he was a hero. You gave him a big head, and he started doing it to all sorts of homeless people. Or people that he assumed to be homeless. who are the ones that you actually cared about, the ones who lived in houses. The rest of us, you make excuses why we must deserve it. Disgusting country we live in. And there's a few people here who may or may not be a part of the KKK who have been kind to me. I am ultimately grateful for that. I also let them know that I was Russian, German, and Hebrew descent as far as my ancestry went. So I'm part two. I also let them know that my first 100 years of ancestors in this country were property of someone else. Yes, I have black ancestors. Chances are so do you. So as far as looking at my skin tone and saying that, 8 generations out, oh, you can't be black. Of course I'm not black. Most of my ancestors were white. It's predominantly those genes that are prevalent in my features. My nose is not what you might consider a black person's nose. It's very much what people would consider either a Roman nose or a Greek nose, or an Italian nose or a Greek nose. Anyway, my computer is still shutting down. Takes an incredible amount of time, and I got it set up just to shut it down again, because it's 1:52. There's going to be food shortly. Somebody just messaged me a couple of pictures of, yes, that guy last night was on my YouTube channel with the drones out here in the parking lot. I gave him my number so he could help me out with my computer, saving editing and stuff. Anyway, I was gonna sell him a guitar last night for $20, and the deal with the guitar was that it was supposed to be a gift. It's supposed to be for people out on the street. It was specifically going to be a gift for Logan and Shane. And I think the way that they were describing it, they would rather have a violin anyway. So I was going to sell it to that guy last night. His name is Rex, and I explained to him. My computer was still shutting down. Anyway, I explained to him that I actually couldn't sell it, that he could pull it out and play with it, and if he liked it, he could have it. If he wanted to donate anything, that's fine, but the fact is, that instrument was not bought for me to play myself. That instrument was not bought for me to try to turn a profit, and it would have been turning a profit. I did spend $40 to buy the thing, but also it wasn't my $40. Someone donated that money because I was going to spend my own $40 to get an instrument for Logan and Shane. So I ended up actually only spending $10 on that guitar because I had to buy strings for it. So this guy Rex last night, obviously there's evidence, it's on my YouTube channel. You can go back and see him flying the drone overhead and all that. He even explained a little bit about his drone, and so he just sent me a picture of that guitar. He ended up donating $20 anyway, even knowing it was free. And so he sent me a picture of it in between all of his other guitars. He's got like 6 or 7 of them in the picture. Obviously, I'm not going to shut off the recording until I get to my vehicle. You never know what's going to happen between now and then. And I just want to say I am thankful and grateful for the people here at Fred Meyer's, and especially in the Starbucks. Matter of fact, I'm thankful for people at Starbucks nationwide. The Starbucks in Chesapeake, Virginia is 2 doors down from the Cricket store. I am incredibly thankful for those people's existence, especially back then, and that includes Alicia's boyfriend at the time. I believe his name was Josh. He people at the Starbucks on Pearl Street in Boulder, Colorado. That was my home for 7 years. I am ever grateful for those people. The folks in the Starbucks in Cheyenne, Wyoming, at the first Starbucks there, well, most of the people were nice. It was that subject matter, speaking about it in the Starbucks, resulted in people not being very nice. And me being harassed by the cops. It's still shutting down. Alright, so once you shut it down, you see that? You see that light? That light goes off when it's completely shut down. It'll go from white like it is now to orange and then off. My screen has reignited itself as far as obviously not lighting on fire. It's not a hallucination. The illumination of the LEDs behind it. I'm not. Obviously, my mouse is on. The mouse thing is plugged in right here. It all still does its thing, but it's not. Of course, I gotta not be frustrated. My breathing exercises. If I show any signs of frustration, people may assume or pretend that I might get violent, and that's one of the things out here that's the biggest issue, is that people actually get violent with us, and we're told it's a civil issue. But if people pretend like we might get violent, we gotta go through ever-loving hell. Anyway, I'm gonna go get a refill, because it's gonna take a while. Unfortunately, I gotta pee. Shut down. That light right there. If I press the enter button, it doesn't really work on this one. Nothing.
And personal preference for vanilla bean is a lot better than just a vanilla syrup. It's not, it's actually vanilla. Attention, all associates. But that's like that. But it's also a pop. Yes. Espresso shot. Perfect. Oh.
The fact that I've repeatedly been incarcerated because people pretended that I might. People who actually did pretended that I might. And that goes for a lot of different crimes. I was told so many times by police that I had to go to somewhere else, only to find out it really was those police's job. They were just being lazy pieces of crap. Or they'd tell me that things were not against the law. It's a civil matter. And of course, if I do those things, it's not civil, is it? These people can actually do these things to me. And if I even threaten to do such a thing, it's not a civil matter. It's a criminal matter, isn't it? Why is it magically a criminal matter only if I do it?
supposed to be a one for like hot drinks, but it's actually cold drinks. Same one that,
Looks like I'm gonna have to emergency shut down my computer because
I put ice in it yesterday morning.
this is hell.
For something, I got ice in water in it every morning.
Of course, there's the I chose you group, or the you chose it. I guess I should call it. Sean, you chose this. No, I fucking didn't. I did not choose you to abuse me. Do not blame me for your abuse. Do not blame your victim for your abuse. Natalie Bollinger tried that too. I have no one to blame for this but you. No. I'm being abused because you friggin' lied. You don't get to blame me for that abuse, stupid. So, Rex is a computer guy. I'm gonna shut down and get a hold of him, and he's aware of what it is that I do. He knows the kind of people that I try to turn against. And my computer is shut down. It's 1:38, so that only took what, 15-20 minutes.
How's it going? Pretty good.
I've also been holding on YouTube for a very long time. There's only a maximum amount of time that my battery is going to function. This is not a corporate Starbucks, it's a franchise Starbucks, and it's attached to a real retail store, so no leaving your stuff unattended. No going outside to have a cigarette while you are working on stuff on the computer. You gotta mind your P's and Q's here a little bit more than in other places, especially since it's not just the Starbucks employees who have a say-so. Fred Meyers owns this particular franchise, and so what the Fred Meyers people have to say does supersede the Starbucks that resides within the Fred Meyers building. You get to see how Molly playing victim and pretending like I'm the bad guy. How that has resulted in me being cut off from many resources. And of course, not all of the people who are cutting me off from those resources over being whined at, not all of them were mean or cruel or evil or treated me like I must deserve it. Some of them were just doing it because, well, it's their freaking job and they don't have the ability, and they shouldn't have to. Like Rob Feller, for example, he shouldn't have to stop and look at 3 weeks of abuse in his parking lot. He's got a store to run. He's got paperwork to do. He's got to make sure that his scheduling is done, that his employees that showed up are paid, the ones that didn't show up are fired or reprimanded. You know, he's got a whole store to run. He's got a bunch of different departments to run. He's got to keep supervising. That's what supervisors do. A manager, their job is to make sure that all of the tasks that need to be done to make that store run effectively, that they are delegated to the right person. And that's where all of my issues are. Without someone there to help me, even if I am going to the right people, they can simply lie to me and direct me somewhere else. There is nobody coordinating this. There is nobody coordinating to see the right thing is done. They're all coordinating to cover each other's backsides and not have to do any work. Now, all of these people who didn't want to look at evidence and didn't want to listen, didn't want to understand, who wanted to do stupid things, now they're knee deep in my Facebook. Now they're knee deep on my YouTube. Their voices are all over the place, saying the exact things that I told you they were saying. The things that the law enforcement I was trying to turn in were trying to use to claim that I was schizophrenic and delusional. Whatever they could do to try to discredit me and destroy my name and prevent this evidence from being shown, to prevent me from facing my accusers or turning in my predators safely. It smells like alcohol. Oh, alcohol wipes. All right, good. I was going to say, I swear to dog, it's not me drinking. I quit drinking over 2 decades ago.
Those are wipes, or sanitizer wipes.
Absolutely. I don't want to become one of those branch COVIDians or whatever like they got in Texas. Branch COVIDians, you know, like the David Koresh guy.
Yeah.
I guess that's branch Davidians, but
That was weird.
there's lots of weird people. Some of them are good people. Of course, being weird kind of shuns people from society. That guy had charisma, though. He got people to listen to him. If you're a psycho, people will listen to you. Just encourage them to run around and harm people that don't deserve it, and people will eat it up. They'll join your
They
channel.
know
And
who to target.
yes, ma'am, 100%. When people know who to target, it's easy to get away with it. You know, if you want to get what you want out of a single mother, just threaten her kids. You know, if you want to get something out of a homeless person, well, they're probably the easiest. I got a channel that's dedicated to fighting for the victims, all of them, regardless of skin color,
Yes.
regardless of race, age, or gender. All right, we're almost done. I was going to get a refill, but I got to get my stuff out to my vehicle. Once you've gone out the doors, when you come back in, you have to buy another coffee. No refill. And I have to take this to my car and make it quick, because if I don't, then I'm going to urinate myself right here in the Starbucks. And this poor lady has already cleaned up these chairs once today already, just that I've seen. I don't want her to have to clean up my leakiness. You know, if I wore adult diapers, I could just sit here and pee myself and continue working. If it works for the Russian astronauts, Russians were a lot smarter. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to make a pen that would write in outer space. The Russians fixed that problem with a pencil.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, that does not look.
Yeah, these other ones are in bad shape too. They won't even get plugged into. The Russians also figured out that absorbent pads are also absorbent in outer space. So while we spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars making it so astronauts could hook themselves up to a freezing tube that could potentially require them getting something amputated they don't want amputated, the Russians just put on diapers. Yeah. Well, be safe. Thank you for having me. Oh, shite. Very good, I got it. I put my clandestine recording device back in my keychain. I did. Make sure I still have my laser. I do. Make sure I still got my flashlight. I do. Still got my keys. It's all still attached. It didn't magically turn into a dragon or fly off on its own. There's no alien probe sticking out of it. And of course, the CIA brainwave rays that people keep telling me about, well, they have not yet affected my keys. All right, there's my car. There's my car. Oh my God, I'm gonna be. And of course, in a town like this, anytime that I see my predator, I gotta make sure it's documented. Now, in these situations, had I been a female, I would have already had plenty of assistance. I would have had my protection order already. And when I see her, I can make a call just because I see her. Even if she didn't notice me, or even if she did notice me and turn the other way because she was trying to avoid having to deal with my BS, well, if I was a woman, that person would still be arrested, even though it's an honest mistake. That's how it is. Somebody pretends to be a victim, you're not allowed to show your side, you're not allowed to speak up, not allowed to show evidence, not allowed to nothing. You're arrested on somebody else's lies. And then after that, when you run into them at the grocery store, all of a sudden you have committed a crime by going to the store and buying groceries because somebody saw you. It doesn't matter what your intent is. You're going to jail, you've got a dick. Right now, with all this stuff that is on YouTube, you know, these cops gotta think twice before pulling stupid like that. Molly's not gonna think twice. Molly does not care. Hopefully these cops start doing their jobs and paying attention. I'm at the bathroom. I don't see Molly. I don't see any of my predators here, so I'm good to go pee. No, you do not go to the bathroom. Good to be ready. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper. No victim left behind. Live with it.